The preacher, he finishes up this salvo with this, which hurts, it stings. He says this, again, so relevant. There's no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of later things yet to be among those who come after. I mean, this is his exclamation point on the emptiness of life if God is not present. The meaninglessness of it all, of all that we have. If this is all we have, listen, he says, you will not be remembered. What? No, we will be remembered. No, you will not be remembered. For all of the talk about leaving a legacy, did you know that very few people in the United States even know all the names of their great-grandparents? Very few. Almost nobody. You will be forgotten by the time your great-grandchildren walk the earth. For all the talk about impact, for all the sports talk about like win for the ages, like this was a win for the ages and breaking news, it will all be forgotten so quickly. Even things the preacher says that have yet to happen, they will be forgotten too. In the news this week is a story that I found right in with what we're talking about here. Officials in Massachusetts are requesting help from the public. There's a portrait that's been hung in the John Adams courthouse for years now, and I think they recently rehung it in 2005, but for years prior to that it had been stored away, and prior to that it had been hung, and it's a portrait of a state Supreme Court justice. Now, and he served sometime from like 1780 to 1820, which while it's long ago, it's not that long ago. And think about that ability to attain that position, to be a Supreme Court justice of your state. Think about the pride and the accomplishment of him to be able to attain that position. And his family and the pride they must have had, and the commissioning of this portrait so that he can be remembered for all time. Well, he has now become famous again because the problem is nobody knows his name. Nobody. They don't know who he was. They have an idea that he served as a Supreme Court justice from 1780 to 1820 in there somewhere. They don't know. They don't even know the name of the guy who painted the portrait. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do what you do? Well, it's to leave a legacy for the next generation. Please, your great-grandkids will not know your name. So, let's pray. We're done. Let's finish today. That's a good day, right? Amen. Let's go eat some food. Eat, drink, and be merry. Tomorrow we die. It's depressing, right? And the preacher is doing this for a reason. I'm not going to let you end on that note. The preacher is doing it for a reason. He isn't without hope. He doesn't view life this way. And as we continue to read this in Ecclesiastes, understand that. You're going to see it turn near the end of the book. He doesn't view life this way. He is not without hope, but he wants you to feel the heaviness. He wants you to feel the emptiness of life if it's lived only about what's under the sun. If it's only about you and only about what you can see and what you want. And this under the sun is a phrase he's going to use again and again. And what he's doing when he says that, he's describing a reality without God. He's describing a life that lives only for now, only for the moment, only for what I can have, without eternity in view. All that he's written about is life under the sun. But he wants us to understand that when we look beyond the sun, when we look past the sun, to the one who fashioned it, to the one who put it in place, to the one who said, let there be light, and there was light. Well, when we look beyond that and we look to the one who did that, well, things are no longer futile. Life's no longer meaningless. It's no longer empty. If we just look at the sun itself before we look beyond it, the heat of the sun. Like you can go blind just from staring at the sun. And it's so many millions of miles away. So just the heat and the beauty and the size of the sun, its fire, its power, well, that begins to make us think about the one beyond it. Because if that's what the sun is like, what's its creator like? If the sun can do that, what does God in all his glory look like?